Hello dear student, today our lecture Typology of Lexical System. The word as a main vocabulary unit. Azerbaijan English and Russian differ from each other in many ways, including their writing system, the sounds they utilize, the order in which elements are arranged in sentence, and the ways in which various meanings are expressed. Of all these aspects of language, most conscious of words as linguistic units. The likeness many Russian and Sanskrit lexical units cannot be treated within the framework of the common Indo-European stock of words comprising such words as cow, корова, milk, молоко, wolf, волк, sun, солнце, and some words denoting kinship like mother, sister, brother, etc. These and several other words were noticed as has been maintained above by the first Europeans who visited India as far back as the 16th century. Those observations, however, did not initiate then a range typological study of languages. What do you do, for example, if you were asked to translate the following sentence into a language you know nothing about? For example, gözden ırak, çönülden uzak. English variant, out of sight, of mind, and long absent, soon forgotten. And Russian variant, с глаз долой, is serdə von. Kör həvəs ancaq zərər gətirər. Blind zeal can only do harm. Хотеть не вредно, вредно не хотеть. Rüşvətxorun amalı da, inamı da puldur. Money talks in English variant, etc. A translator may have problems, especially when proverbs or metaphors are involved. For example, when the sentence above the translated word by the word into Russian by a machine, the machine give it following translation. Я невидимый идиот. Водка держите хорошо. Но я испортилась. Most people would prepare for such talks, abstaining censure. The matter is that the English word spirit has two meanings, spirit и дух, and the machine know only the first meaning. Yet we are all probably more aware of words of the sounds, syntax, or even meaning itself, but what a word. Our word the smallest unit of meaning in both languages. How does the speaker of a language produce word? Where do new words come from? Any human being given the time could list could list thousands of words in his native language. Of the items on the list were indeed words. Linguistics and dictionary makers have tried to describe of concepts, word, but all of their attempts have failed in some way. We all know what a word is, yet no one can explain it. The difficulty is caused by different applications of the term word. Linguistics often apply it to a whole group like write, writers, wrote, will write, etc. Linguistics often apply it to a whole group like write, writers, wrote, will write, etc. This entire group is then regarded as one word. But when speaking about every word being separated from its neighbors in speech, we naturally mean individual members of such a group. Not the group as a whole have any line to another speaker, the second person would. The whole group is never used as a unit of speech. Thus, we must either distinguish the world as a unit of language and the world as a unit of speech, or we have to choose a unit common to both language and speech and designate it by the term word. We may say that a unit like right is a word right regard to both language and speech. The group write, writers, wrote, will write, etc. is not a word but lexeme, a group of words united by some common features. The other difficulty is caused by the definition of a word. This difficulty is explained by the fact that the word is an example, extremely complex and many-sided phenomenon. Within the framework of different linguistic trends and theirs, the word is defined as the minimal potential sentence. The minimal free linguistic forma, the articulate sounds, symbols, the grammatically arranged combination of sound with meaning, etc. None of these definitions is generally accepted. As for the criterion according to which the word is identified as a minimal sign capable of functioning alone, the word understood as the smallest free from or interpreted as the potential minimal sentence. It is irrelevant for the bulk of functional words, which cannot be used independently even in elliptical summing up what has been said above, we may point out some of the properties of the world which are fundamental from the point of view of their systematic status. According to the world is a monomative unit of language. It is formed by morphemes. It enters the lexical as its elementary component. One of the main properties of a word is its double natures. It is material because it can be heard and seen, and it is immaterial or ideal as far as its meaning is concerned. We shall regard the material aspect of the word, written and oral, as its forms and its meaning as its content when defining the word as the smallest naming unit. We refer primarily to its content, whereas in pointing of the most characteristic features of words we deal chiefly with the former. The word books can be broken up into parts, book, and the content of the first part be rendered by Russian книга, and the meaning of the second part is plurality. So each of the two parts of the word books has both form and content. Such meaning parts of the word are called morphemes. If we break up the word books in some other ways, books, the resulting parts will not be morphemes, since they have no meaning. Thus, the word is the smallest, and the morpheme is the smallest meaning unit. Morphemes may be classified in more than one dimension. Firstly, morphemes are bound and free. Every morpheme is not that may contain a word by itself. A bound morpheme is one that must appear with at least one other morpheme, bound or free in a word. In English, the word cat is free since cat is a word in its own right, and s is bound as it is not a word is in its own right. Free morphemes therefore necessarily consist mono morphemic words. Secondly, morphemes may be divided into roots and affixes. Roots morphemes may be bound or free. A word has at least one lexical morpheme. It may also have grammatical and lexicogrammatical morphemes. The lexical morpheme is regarded as the roots of the word, All the other bond morphemes are affixes. Prefix, suffix, and infixes position is not the only difference between prefixes and suffix in English and Russian. Suffix play a much greater role in the grammatical structure of the English language. First, the morphemes beside it, lexical, grammatical. Secondly, the grammatical suffixes are more closely connoted with grammatical morphemes. Then prefix are addition of a suffix to the root mostly changes the set of grammatical morphemes attached which are not typical of prefix. Consider teach and teacher. On the other hand, give and forgive. On the other, an infix is an affix placed within the word, like in stand. Words without their grammatical morphemes are now the stems. A stem may consist of the root alone. In accordance with their structure, the following four types of systems are usually distinguished. 1. In accordance with their structure, the following four types are usually distinguished. First, simple, containing only the roots, as in they, dogs, кошка, книга, etc. Derivative, connoting affixes or other stem, building, boyhood, rewrite, listening, etc. Compound, containing two or more roots, as brother, in law, right, wash, motor, car, etc. Composite, containing three lexical grammatical verb, morphemes or other sides having the form, the means employed in English to distinguish the words of a lexeme are similar to those used to distinguish the stems of different lexemes. The words play and place are related by affixation. The word plays differ from the word play in having the affix, more exactly suffix, s, is added to the stem of the lexeme. But sometimes words of the same lexeme have different roots. For example, I, me, go, went. The lexicogrammatical meaning and commonality and the function or only the last. For example, doctor, noun, doctor, verb. Smooth, adjective, smooth, verb. Home, noun, home, adverb.